everyone, welcome to my channel. I'm Rebecca, I'm an animal communicator and spiritual medium. I have two channels here on YouTube. Spirit Journey of Enlightenment, which covers all things spirituality and navigating the human experience, and The Words of the Wild, which is wisdom from Mother Earth and messages from the animal kingdom. Thank you for joining me. If my content resonates with you, please do like, share and subscribe. All of my information is in the description. Let's get into it. Today I'd like to talk to you about the animal kingdom and animal communication and how I became aware of being able to speak to the animal kingdom. It was something that came as quite a shock to me. So I've been connected to spirit my entire life. It was really second nature to kind of see or to hear spirits. It never really fazed me. I grew up in quite an active house, and kind of it's one of those things where, because I wasn't actively working for spirit at the time, I was kind of going through life, having, different jobs, growing up, and just moving through life, having my normal human experience. And I've always loved animals. I wanted to be a vet when I was younger, but I had real issues with blood. I used to faint anytime I saw blood ever, even if I, cut my finger, someone else cut their finger. It made me feel really queasy and I would always faint. So quite early on, I realised that I wouldn't be able to be a vet. And so I never had a job working with animals, although I spent a lot of time around animals. I had dogs growing up. All of my family members have animals. And so it's always been in the back of my mind that eventually I wanted to do something with animals, but I had absolutely no idea that this is the path that my life would take. So in 2017, I moved house and there was a lot of renovation work that needed doing. And I would go and sit out in my garden kind of to get away from the building site that was my home, and I would sit and do my admin in the garden. And I would sit there, and this several birds used to come to the garden, but this one dove in particular used to come to the garden, and it would feed from the bird table. And quite quickly it became kind of, aware of my presence but unafraid of me, and it would come and feed, and I would sit out there doing my work, kind of acknowledge it, say hello to it, and not really think much more of it, just doing my work. And then it actually came and sat on the table one day, and I was talking away to it, kind of, like I always had, like telling it how beautiful it was, thanking it for coming to my garden. And all of a sudden I realised I was having an actual conversation with this dove, and it was communicating telepathic with me, and I could hear it speaking back to me. And I can still remember the feeling that I had when it occurred. I was shocked, amazed, and it kind of took my breath away. It was just one of those moments where I was like, what is happening? Like, what is actually happening? But also, because of being aware of spirit my whole life, it was almost like, oh, so that's a new thing that's part of my abilities. So it was it was amazing, but also not beyond the realms of possibility to me, because I was in that environment anyway. And then fast forward to 2018, I wanted to have my own animal because I was working from home. I love going hiking. I wanted to have a dog, and I'd grown up with dogs, but I spent a long time researching the kind of breed that would fit my lifestyle and what I wanted size wise, kind of to make sure it would fit into my lifestyle. And I decided that I would really like a Siberian Husky. And I did a lot of research on them. My brother actually has two Siberian Huskies, so I went and met them. And that kind of meeting them cemented it for me. I really liked their personalities. I thought, actually, the size of them, they're not too big, they're not too small, they kind of fit me perfectly. And so my dog came into my life, and every day I would do training with her, and we'd be feeding, we'd be bonding, I'd be doing training sessions, play sessions. And it wasn't long before I suddenly realised that what had happened with the dove was happening here. I'd be talking to her, she was talking back to me. And it really did help with our relationship, making our relationship stronger and better. So I had that, and then I had lots of interactions where I would be out and about and I would see different animals, and sometimes they would just start talking to me. Other times I might be interested in them and I would say, do you want to talk? Most of the time animals do want to talk, but occasionally they'll say, no, not today. So it's just beautiful. It's just very, very very eye-opening as well, but also a reminder that we are all connected. And so the way that I always describe it to people, if you followed me from Instagram, you will know how I communicate with animals. But if you're new to my channel, the way I always describe it is like being an interpreter. So you would have you'd have the animal here, you'd have the human companion of the animal's family, and then you'd have me in the middle as kind of an interpreter who can speak animal and then translate it so that a human can understand it. And the way that animals communicate with me is in a variety of ways. I utilise several of the clairs within my work, both in mediumship and in animal communication. So they will speak to me so I can physically hear their words like I'm talking to you now. They will show me images, almost like, I always call them film strips because that's how they appear. It will be like a movie that I can see with my third eye that I'm watching, where they're showing me either memories or things they enjoy doing, or they're trying to show me from past lives that they've had. I can also feel things with them. So if, say for instance, you had a dog who had a pain in its front left leg, I would be shown the front left leg of the dog, but I would be feeling the pain myself. I could feel what kind of a pain it was in physical form in my own body. I sometimes get smells. They will sometimes give me smells. So like if they enjoy spending time by the beach, I might suddenly get the smell of the salt from the sea. There's a variety of ways that they communicate, and I also will work with my spirit team and their spirit team. So I'm calling in my angels and guides, I call in their angels and guides, and I will ask them to please facilitate the communication between us for the highest good of the animal and for the highest good and understanding of the human companion. And it's just a really beautiful way to work with your animal companions. I've worked with animals that have come from rescue, that have perhaps had a difficult start in life, or they might have had several homes where perhaps their experiences haven't been that great, and so they've brought some of those anxieties and fears into their current home. And even though the current home is wonderful and lovely and they're happy, like with people, it takes a long time to get over those things, and the trauma can be very deep, and you need to have healing and to understand how to help them to move forward through those difficult things. And so that's one of the really wonderful things that my ability can help with, is assisting a human to understand how they can help their animals that have been rescued, or animals that have been potentially very unwell, that are kind of on a healing journey, or that are struggling perhaps with ongoing health problems. Just they might be able to say, I am in a lot of pain. I really love it when you sit next to me and just be with me, but I don't like it when you keep stroking me when I'm laying next to you, because actually it's quite uncomfortable. Do you mind if you don't do that so often? There's a whole host of things that it can help with, and it's really just so special to be able to be a voice for the animal kingdom. And I feel so blessed because, as I said at the start of the video, I'd always wanted to work with animals in some capacity, and I had no idea that my life was going to go this way. But it's definitely a wonderful thing to be able to do, and it brings so much joy both to the humans who are able to now understand their animals and have a chance to ask them some questions. You can find out, more things about their personalities, their likes and dislikes. Quite often I've had clients with animals that they've shown me past lives that they've had, And I'm not really going to go too much into it here, but I will do a whole video at some point on animals and past lives, because I've seen some amazing things with them. I've understood so much more about the way that they now are in this incarnation. And just like we sometimes struggle in our human incarnation, some animals have reincarnated as animals, but they have been humans previously. And believe it or not, even though they chose this incarnation, they do struggle. And I've had some beautiful insight from both domestic and wild animals, on the whole reincarnation thing, which is super interesting. So really, this is just an introduction video to my work. You can see more of my work over on Instagram. My Instagram channel is Spirit Journey of Enlightenment, which is linked in the description. There are more videos there about channelings that I've had, interactions I've had with wild animals, and some little snippets from some of the clients that were happy for me to share their interactions with their animals. So I thank you for being here. I really look forward to sharing more wisdom from Mother Earth and from the animal kingdom, and to grow a little community so that you can kind of get a better understanding of your own animals and things to look out for, and ways that you can support them as they they navigate their journey through this lifetime, and so that you can live a more harmonious and joyous life together. So we'll leave it there for today, but we'll cover lots of different topics, and channeled messages from different animals to give you an insight into the wonderful world of animal communication. And I'll also share lots of information that comes from Mother Earth and from nature, and how we can support her, because she's a living, breathing thing, and I've learned so much in this work that I do. So we'll be sharing more of that also. But thank you for joining me. As I said, my information for my other YouTube channel and my Instagram channel are both in the description. If you do like my content and it resonates with you, can't get my words out today, it resonates with you, please do like, comment and subscribe, and I look forward to sharing more information with you soon. Thanks for joining me. Speak to you again soon.